Hello, everybody. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on this lovely Thursday. I was going to say August, September 2nd. I cannot believe that August is over already. Oh, yeah. August just flew by. So thank you to the grower and Edward Smart, the first two into chat tonight. Thank you so much for coming. How are you guys doing? Hopefully you were not affected at all by the storm that's raging across so much of the country. We have not gotten any of that here. We had thunderstorms and a lot of rain on the weekend, but fortunately that weather system has not moved through here. So tonight we are going to be giving away the seeds for the hollyhocks, so we'll be doing that in a little bit. And then I'm going to be going over the 6 questions that T-Nog, the New Orleans gardener, has asked to several of the other YouTubers, and basically it's just seeing just kind of a reflection on your growing season this year. So everyone can hear me just fine? Make sure my microphone's going on. Right. So first off, I did want to talk about all the plants that I started. I don't know if you had a chance to see my video the other day, but they are already sprouting. I was like, what? So yeah, I was just going to show you a little update on that. How do I get it into the chat? Hold on. I'm going to just copy the link, I think, and share my screen. But yeah, they came up so fast, the radishes, and you would think that the radishes, thank you, Edward. You would think that my radishes, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with them. I like them because of the fact that they sprout so fast, and they actually do seem to grow quite well, but they just don't bulb up for me. And so it ends up being such a sad, a sad situation. But I do enjoy eating the radish seed pods. So that's not a bad idea. That's not bad. So I will just see if I can get that, just share the screen here.
These radishes ain't.
So I click that, and then I click share screen, and yep. There we go.
Plan. I started these seeds 4 days ago on Saturday, and here it is Wednesday, and they are, well, at least 1 to 2 inches out of the ground. They are happy as can be. Some of the other stuff you can see tiny little spikes there.
So this is my fall planting. I started these seeds on Saturday. I did the spinach. I did the Saka mustard.
You see a bit here on Mitsuba.
Mitsuba.
Doing all right, and
I did more red cabbage and the collards. So have you guys done any of your fall sowing yet? Have you started doing your fall seeds? Because I think that's going to be a really it's my first time doing it. But yeah, it was kind of sad because I had just planted them all Saturday morning, and we've been so dry for pretty much all of August. We had hardly any precipitation at all. And then Saturday night, so that evening, a storm rolls through. We got I had my big plastic container out there, and we got this much rain in it over the course of just a few hours. It kind of would just come on and then off and on again. We had thunder lightning Saturday and Sunday. And I was just like, oh my goodness, what is going on with those seeds? I was afraid that some of them, thank God they were in containers, but I was afraid that they might just get buried so much from the pounding rain and not be seen, or they would just kind of all, as you can see, that they're all kind of drifted into the middle. So as they get a little bit bigger, I think I'm going to go and try to space them out a little bit, but I'm scared to kind of deal with them. I don't really want to touch them if I don't have to. So I am going to start going through. Oh, hello, Nicole. Hello. I just got my fall stuff going in the last 2 weeks. Yay. Are they sprouting yet? What did you start? Are you starting I know a lot of people are starting brassicas. I guess for me that would be the radishes, and what else did the collards, I guess. I don't grow anything like the broccoli and the cauliflower, things like that. I just don't have room really in my garden for a single produce item. I prefer stuff that's going to kind of cut and come again, or keep Going, kohlrabi sprouted already. Yay. Have you had kohlrabi before? Have you made, I had some, I tasted my first one a couple weeks ago. I just tried it raw with dipped in some ranch. It was very good. Tastes kind of like a combination of like a broccoli stem and like a very mild cabbagey, radishy flavor. But then Tuesday night, last night, whatever it was, I think it was last night. We were having sausages and pierogies, and I thought, ooh, you know what? So I took the, went out and got a kohlrabi. And hey, Broke, how's it going? Good to see you. We're talking about kohlrabi. So I took the kohlrabi and I grabbed the leaves, everything off of it, and I chopped the leaves up and I peeled it. What's this peel? Sounds like I peeled it and then I grated it. And in the pan, I did some onions and bacon and some peppers. And then I threw in the green leaves and I threw in the kohlrabi that was shredded. And then I put in a splash of apple cider vinegar, some regular apple juice, and a little bit of sugar and salt. And I just let it kind of stew down and do its thing. That's pretty much like how I cook like collard greens or like a hot wilted salad or red cabbage or whatever. Very similar. Oh, it was so good. No one else in my family really liked it. So that means all for me. Hello, Raymond Allen. Thank you for joining the chat tonight. So we are talking, I just talked a little bit about my fall planting and showing the group how my radishes have already sprouted. They're like getting tall. So we are rooting for me, because I've never done a fall planting of radishes. We are rooting that that is the trick for me to actually get radish bulbs. We will see. There are no guarantees, but that is going to be what I'm hoping will actually finally work for me. So you could make like something like a sauerkraut or probably even like a kimchi with it. I don't know if anyone, I mean, I don't see why not. You could pickle it. I'm sure you could pickle it, like cut it into like slivers and then throw it in like some hot spicy pickle. That would be really, really good. So, okay, yes. So back to business. Okay, so back to, I'm going to start with Tinag's question. So feel free to answer. I will answer it, and then feel free to answer in the comment section if you haven't like done a video or anything yet on her questions for the gardening season. So question number 1 is, will I have a garden in 2022? Ooh. Yeah. Otherwise this channel will be real boring. Try pickling it. Go for it. I don't have enough to do. I only have a couple left. Next year, I'm going to be definitely getting a lot more kohlrabi seeds and growing a lot more. Like they just did so well for me and they were so easy to grow. They were absolutely beautiful. Viola, thank you so much for coming. Welcome. So I'm pretty sure everyone here in the chat plans on having a garden in the new year. And we're already all planning for it and kind of thinking through our seed lists, everything we want. So that was an easy question. Now they start to get a little more difficult. So question number 2 is, what vegetable will you not grow in 2022? And I had to stop and think about this, but the one that came to mind right away is corn. So I tried growing some corn last year. As you know, I have a very small yard. So I went and I bought a cell pack of 4 corn. I grew color. Oh, it's still growing right now. I just picked one yesterday, Broke. I mean, yeah, I just picked one for lunch yesterday, and I still have a couple more growing, and they look great. They're just, if you look at the video that I just posted, the shorts video of my crops coming up, when I show you the red cabbage, that is in the container with the kohlrabi. So those big leaves you see next to it are the rest of my kohlrabi. They're still going. I still have kale at the top of the hill that I started indoors in January. And then I planted everything out, the rest of the kale out in the big containers, and I didn't have enough for all of it. And so I stuck the rest of the kale in this little tiny pot, and it was really crowded in there and it didn't do very well. And so when, I think last month I went and I took it and I just planted it out up in the garden, and I thought, well, I'll see how it's going. And it's doing really well. Like, I'm shocked. I thought the heat would hit it or kill it or something, but the kale's going, and so I will be having kale. If anyone's wondering why I wasn't starting kale seeds, it's because I have kale growing up at the top of the hill, and it looks good. So I think we'll be eating on that well into the frost. So I am excited about that. Yeah, we had such a weird weather this summer. We had just pretty much solid rain in July, and then no rain at all, and tons of heat in August, and it was just like complete opposites, and everything was all over the place. Hey, the Sweet Spot, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. So question number 2, corn. So last year, I have never grown corn before. Last year I was at the garden center, and I was getting a few of my peppers that I hadn't grown from seed myself, and they had these little cell packs of vegetables, and I had a cell pack of corn for $1.49, and I was like, corn? So I bought the cell pack of corn. I planted the little corns out, and they did amazing. They did amazing. They grew. I had these big cobs coming, and just before I was going to go and harvest the cobs, some raccoon or skunk, I don't know what it was, destroyed the plants and took all the cobs. And I was very upset about it. Very upset. So I swore off growing corn. Then I've been watching everyone else growing corn this year. Kiki and Pam, and everyone's growing this fabulous looking corn. And all of a sudden I thought, well, maybe I should try it again, because I had good germination. That wasn't the problem. I didn't have any pest problems. But then a friend of mine, not too far away from here, she also grew corn this year outside, had it in containers, wrapped it in chicken wire, did everything she could, and the raccoons still came and stole all her corn. So I'm swearing off corn. I'm never going through that again. It's far too emotional for me to deal with that. So no. So just checking in the chat. I see that Lion Crest is here. Welcome, Farmer Q. Thank you very much. And Raymond said he is doing fall garden for the first time. Me too. Welcome, welcome. Have spinach, arugula, cabbage, replanted cucumbers, and going to try cauliflower, kale, and broccoli. Wow. For your first time, you went all out. Nice job. What growing zone are you in there, Raymond? Let us know what growing zone you are in, because I'm in 6, right? So we can get a frost anytime from, even mid-September. The town right next to me that I am literally right on the border of, they say their like first frost date is like September 20th or something crazy like that. And then like Toronto, it's like middle of October, and then we're kind of right in the middle. So it just kind of depends on the way the weather patterns go. So we have had frosts in September, but the last few years we've had really warm falls into October. It's usually about mid-October when all of a sudden it hits and we're really cold. So although a couple years ago we had like a couple light frosts, and then we didn't have any snow, we didn't have any cold weather until like after Christmas. We went to the zoo that year on Christmas Day, and it was like 65 degrees out, and we were wearing hoodies. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. Tried growing corn, silkworms got it all. See, that's the thing, is I thought, oh man, I've done so well. I didn't have any pest problems. I had pollination. Stupid raccoons. So Nicole and 7A, 7A, 8B, and 9A. Ooh, yeah. Raymond Allen, 7. All right. Edward Smart. Zone 11. Are you in Florida? You're in Florida or Hawaii? Or Jamaica? Where are you at, Edward? Zone 11. Wow. Now we're all just super jealous. He's just down there eating mangoes all day long. That's what I'm picturing right now. That's what I'm picturing. Okay, so question number 2, the vegetable I will not grow is corn. Is there any vegetables that you just, I'm guessing Raymond's not going to be growing corn next year either. Did you have like a total fail with a vegetable this year, or a flower, or any plant in particular, and you're just like, nope, not again? Hawaii. Oh, I love Hawaii. Where at in Hawaii are you? Hawaii is the reason I'm obsessed with hibiscus, because I'm originally from Alaska. That's where I was born, and we would go to Hawaii in the winter. And my first trip to Hawaii, I should show you a picture. I was 5 days old on my first trip to Hawaii. So I've been several times growing up, and I was very influenced by the Hawaiian print and the plants, and I think that's one of the reasons why I love all the big tropical flowers. Honolulu, lovely, lovely. I remember as a kid going and walking along the beach there and walking through the Royal Hawaiian. It was the most beautiful hotel. If you haven't been to Honolulu, it's this hot pink, bright pink hotel right on the beach, and it's super fancy. It kind of reminds me of the Empress in Victoria, if you've been there. It's kind of that same just like statement hotel, and it's fancy inside, and you can walk through. I remember as a kid, we would stay in the cheap hotel, and then we would get dressed up and go out for dinner, and then we would go and walk through the fancy hotels down on the waterfront and get a virgin blue Hawaiian with the little umbrella and the cups. So exciting. Okay, I'm off on a tangent. Hawaii. You should have brought up Hawaii. Okay, so what vegetable have you enjoyed growing the most? So this is hard because I am growing so many different new vegetables than I ever have before. I'm going to have to say the most exciting, like exotic vegetable would definitely be the kohlrabi. I had never had it before. I had never even heard of it really before last summer, and everyone was going nuts talking about it. A lot of my friends had signed up for like a CSA box. And so even though they like weren't growing it themselves, a lot of people were like, oh, I got this kohlrabi in my CSA box and it was amazing. And I was like, what on earth is kohlrabi? And then I ended up having someone offer me some kohlrabi seeds in a seed swap. And I thought, all right, I'll try it. And then kohlrabi became one of the free seed packets from Baker Creek. And then boom, it was just like kohlrabi, kohlrabi, kohlrabi. Beans are easy for me, all kinds of beans. I'll rub it in on the beans, although mine are coming back. They are doing quite well in the pots. They are growing. I've got little baby beans on them. So I will be getting a fall harvest of beans. I'm actually surprised they've survived at all, really. So for my like exotic, I would have to say the kohlrabi. But to me, I mean, I just absolutely love growing tomatoes and peppers. That's just, the kohlrabi is more of like a separate dish, you know, certain things. But for me, tomatoes and peppers, like you could just eat them with every meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. The varieties are so nice, and you can't get anything like them at the grocery store, to be honest. Okra has been fun. See, okra's on my list later down. I hate it my whole life, but after I grew it and friended it myself, I actually like it a little bit. Yeah, I've had it a few times and it was really good. I had it fried with shrimp in like a cornmeal batter and then deep fried, and you dip it in aioli, and that was really, really good. So when I grow it next year, I have a feeling that's going to be one of the ways that I'm going to, sorry, my finger, it's like really, I got like paint on here and I'm trying to chew it off. It's bothering me. You did some beans from sprouts. Nice. Aphids. Oh, I'm so sorry about your aphids. You know what? I had the aphids were all over my white petunias. Some on the purple petunias as well, but mainly like the white petunias and my calendula. But they didn't seem to bother anything else. So I kind of, at first I was trying to kill them on there. And then I thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to leave them for a trap crop. So it seemed to work. I didn't have problems with them on other things at all. So for the tomato, do I have a picture? I'll have to see if I have a picture of it. So, I don't think I have it on here. It's on my laptop, my touchpad. Yeah, my mortgage lifter. I weighed that baby. It's huge. You'll have to wait. The video's coming out soon. You'll have to see how much you think my mortgage lifter tomato weighed when I weighed it. It was amazing. I was so excited. I went out and cut it before any of the animals had a chance to. I was waiting because I want it to be nice and juicy. I want it to ripen on the vine, but I don't want the squirrels to eat it first. So I finally had a chance to get out there, and I filmed it, I cut it, and we weighed it, and that video will be coming probably this weekend. So tomatoes, none of them have been blown me away so much, like flavor-wise. I've really liked the flavor of the pink Berkeley tie-dye. That so far has been about my favorite. I think that or the Costofluto. They're both very, very good. The Moneymaker I've been eating a lot of, but it's it's just more like a typical tomato. Like it's great because it's very it's producing great. It was the first ones to ripen up for me. It's about the kind of like the size of a, I don't know, large ping pong ball or whatever. absolutely perfect looking, beautiful, round, red, gorgeous tomato. I'll be doing a tomato comparison video later on once they all start ripening. But I still, oh, and the Brad's Atomic Grape are pretty good too. I am enjoying those if I can get to them before the squirrels. But I have seen nothing yet on my, what are they called? Pink brandy wine. So I'm waiting still to get some pink brandy wines. For peppers this year, I'm going to have to say I'm really, really having fun with my New Mexico 6 peppers. Now, they have no heat to them. And it's just, but they just have this really, really nice flavor. And so I made the flautas. If you saw that video that went out Tuesday, maybe I can't remember. I made the flautas, wrapped them up in the tortillas and pan fried them, and then I did the pork and green chili verde stew a few weeks ago, and that was amazing too. So that's one thing I like about trying new varieties of peppers and tomatoes. I mean, tomatoes, you kind of just use them all the same, but peppers, you get to try out new recipes, new ideas, right? Because like I wouldn't be doing this with cayenne or jalapeno. That would not work. So my jalapenos are coming along, but I haven't really harvested. I only harvested the one that I used in the salsa. So once those start coming in, then I'll be, kind of getting over to the recipes for that. But honestly, those New Mexico 6, I got the seeds at the dollar store, and they have just been going crazy. Let me just check the chat. You're jealous of my big tomato. Oh, I know your leaf-footed ones were terrible. I'm so sorry. I have black one, brown ones here. Even yeah. Fortunately, I don't have too much. That seems I've noticed a couple little dots on a couple tomatoes and a little bit of biting on the leaves, but I don't seem to have too much pests on my tomatoes. Knock on wood. Yeah, so I've been lucky with that. Nicole, I love all your peppers, Rochelle. I need to try some different ones next year for sure. What kind of draft tomato would you recommend? Draft. Do you mean dwarf or draft? I'm not sure. Dwarf. Okay, sorry. I'll just read a little bit before I ask questions. Dwarf tomato. Actually, the Dwarf Tomato King just entered the building. Hello, Joe, Garden State Gardener. He knows all about the dwarf tomatoes. Actually, I just won a dwarf tomato in his seed raffle 2 weeks ago. So I can't remember the name of it. And so I've done no research on it. Dwarf tomatoes. That is actually one of the things I was going to mention is one of my favorite things that I've been growing this year. I started from seed Tiny Tim and Dwarf Gold Pearl. The Tiny Tim tomatoes. I have these 2 little tomatoes in the white pot. You'll see it out back in some of my videos. I started those in, I think, February. End of January, beginning of February. And honestly, oh, hi. Hi, Renee. You just slipped in. I didn't even see you come in. Hi, Renee. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, so, hello, Harold. Welcome, Harold and friends. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm talking about my Tiny Tim tomatoes. So I put 2 Tiny Tim tomatoes in the, I don't know, is it a 12-inch, 14-inch pot? These things, once they started producing, they have been producing so many tomatoes. Like I took a picture, and I can't remember if it was on my touchpad this morning, or I think it was with the video camera. I'll just double check really quick. We had like 1 week, I think, where there weren't any ripe tomatoes, but there were like a ton of green ones coming. And then we're back in business with the red tomatoes. Like I have never seen production off of such a tiny plant. And they taste good. They're not like right home, like, oh my God, this is the best tomato I've ever had. They taste good. Gizmo loves them. The production is amazing. And I love that I can start them early. I can put them in containers. I can keep them on the patio, which does help keep other pests off of them because I think it would be a lot easier to net. You should try that, Nicole, next year because you have so many garden pests with your tomatoes. Try some dwarf tomatoes because it's a lot easier to actually net them off, just like the whole plant because they're very small. And that might work for you. But yeah, I've really been blown away with that. The Dwarf Gold Pearl is a much larger plant. So the Tiny Tims, say this is the top of the plant. I mean, the top of the pot, like the soil level. This is the top of the plant. Like they are literally maybe 15, 18 inches tops. Like they are short and just dense and chubby, just like Gizmo. And the Dwarf Gold Pearl are more, they get a lot taller. They're more like 2 to 3 feet tall, but still have a small, like growing, like definitely good for in a container. Not like the indeterminates that I have up the hill that have just taken over and gone crazy. But again, the flavor on those, I don't think are that exciting. They're smaller, and if you wait until they're like bright orange before they split, they're really sweet, but it's kind of hard to catch them at the right time. I don't know if I will be growing them again next year. I will definitely be growing the Tiny Tim. I might hold off on the Dwarf Gold Pearl next year. I will be definitely trying the one that I got from Joe. And you know what? Actually, I can check the email because I had to send him my email with my address. I'll check that and see the name of that one. But there is an Instagram page that I follow that is called Pacific Northwest Tomatoes. I think it's called something like that. I'll see if I can find their Instagram account. But I follow them, and they are kind of doing like their own little breeding of different varieties of dwarf tomatoes. And I keep seeing all these different ones on their Instagram account. And she's just setting up her Etsy shop right now. And so I will definitely be trying those. So Joe's favorite, give them all a try. My favorite I ever grew was Rosella Crimson. Ooh, that sounds really pretty. Oh my God, I should actually show you. There's this guy that I did a lot of seed swaps with last year. He sent me cuttings of some tiny tomatoes, little cuttings like this in the mail. And they showed up. The leaves were all brown and mushy. The stems were kind of mushy. I thought these things are toast. I didn't have the heart to tell him. So I took them out of the little hot package because it was like when we were having like super hot weather. Stuck these little things in a glass of water. I've been watering them faithfully, changing the water. They are growing like crazy. They have tons of roots on them. One of them is a dwarf tomato, and I would have to check his messages to double check and see which one it is. But the other one is, I believe it's the spoon tomatoes. And they literally have the tiniest little, you know what, when my daughter comes around, I'm going to have her go and bring it up. Because honestly, it is the craziest, tiniest little tomato. So, okay, so I got the Dwarf Mary's Cherry from Joe's. What are your thoughts on the Sweet 100s? I grew those years and years ago. I remember them being good, but I don't know why I'm not still growing them. Was I not blown away? I don't know. I think part of it is I just kind of keep trying new tomatoes all the time. I actually tried one. I sampled it in the Canadian Tire parking lot. They had one, and it was a cherry tomato. They were small. They had candy in the name. So I don't know. I'm thinking it's probably a hybrid of some kind. It said something candy. It was delicious. It was really, really good. And I forgot I was going to go back and check, and they were clearing a bunch of stuff out, and I thought, find room to throw that somewhere, but I forgot to go back, and they're probably gone now. But yeah, it said candy something in the name of a cherry tomato. But I know a lot of people love the Sweet 100s. They're kind of a tried and true. I just don't remember being that blown away with them. I used to get them at the greenhouse up the road there. They used to sell the little 4-packs of those. Anything, just making sure I'm not missing anyone in chat. People are just saying hello, hello, hello. All right, so back to I don't even remember what question we were on. The vegetables I've enjoyed growing most. You're not impressed with the super sweet 100s. Well, the thing I find with tomatoes is so much of it is a personal choice. You know, some people we all have different tastes and taste buds, and it's hard to know 100% Candyland. That could be it. It was very, very good. And then I was like, I should have checked the label more to see what it was. But I was there looking for something else in particular, and I just kind of had walked past it. So, yeah. So, for me, it's kind of trying these new peppers. I've got some hot peppers coming, the Jamaican hot chocolates. I'm a little scared. I'm going to have my neighbor try it first. Let me know how it ranks on the heat level, but we'll see. I also have some Scotch bonnets and some cayenne and some possibly Bolivian rainbow. I don't know. I'm starting to think some of my seed labels or seeds had gotten a little wonky because they're not looking like the pictures I'm seeing online. My Bolivian rainbow are hanging down and looking more like the Scotch bonnets. And the pictures I see of Bolivian rainbow, they are supposed to be standing up the other way. So it's possible my labeling got off a little bit. So I might have to do a little, I should be posting pictures right now, but please identify these. These are your choices of the seeds I have. What do you think they are? So number 4, what is the one thing from 2021 that you will not do or grow in 2022? So that was kind of hard for me to decide. I haven't really decided, I haven't cut out any tomatoes yet this year or any peppers because I'm still haven't got them all in yet, but I'm going to just go straight up with bachelor's buttons. I just was not impressed. Everyone says, oh, grow bachelor's buttons. They're great filler for... They're not great filler for anything. They're floppy. They're long. They don't have much oomph in a bouquet. They kind of just trailed, and I don't know. They were a bit of a mess. Like, if they self-seed where they were at and they come back and do their thing, all right. But I'm not going to be like super... I'm not going to start them from seed and bother with them, honestly. I like to cook with ghost peppers, but you don't use too much. No, you do not. And preferably cook outside, depending on what you're making. I am kind of excited to use some of my Scotch bonnets. I want to make some mango chow. So I'm hoping that the Scotch bonnets come and start ripening up while the mango boxes are still on sale for pretty cheap at the store. It's like right now I can get like a box of mangoes for, I think it's $6.99. So that's nice, especially when they all ripen at the same time. I made some mango chow last year. I used a recipe. Has anyone here ever made mango chow? Have you had mango chow? Oh my God, it's so good. I used a recipe from Caribbean Pots. He is not far from me. He's actually down in Hamilton, Ontario. So like within oh, there's his music. Sorry. I'm going to try to find his mango chow. He has a few different mango chow recipes. The one I tried was really, really good. And you use these like dried, no, it's not the one from 2 years ago. The ultimate mango chow. I think that's the one from last year.
Is Heather?
Or July, yeah. You might need to go to an Asian market or a West Indian store to get the, what's it called? The salted prunes. So they're like Chinese dried salted prunes, and you throw them in with the brine and it all gets yummy. And in that you also use the shadow benny, which is also known as culantro. So not cilantro, culantro. It's an herb used down in the Caribbean, and it's also called, in Trinidad, it is known as shadow benny. And it tastes similar to cilantro, but it's less soapy. I don't know. People that don't really like the soapiness aspect, they get that soapy flavor out of the cilantro. The culantro is more of a mild, kind of a slightly more mild flavor. So you might prefer culantro. Raven Cat, hey, welcome. Thanks for popping in. And Davis family, you know all about. Do you eat a lot of culantro there in Jamaica? Or is it more of like a Trinidadian dish? Or shadow benny? Oh, get back to cleaning. There you go. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so did I actually post the link? I don't think I posted the link. I'm just talking about it. So if you can find yourself a big box of mangoes and you got yourself some hot chilies, honestly, this is a really, really great recipe. It calls for some Scotch bonnets and some jalapenos and bird peppers. So it's kind of got a nice combination. And you don't have to leave it too long. If I recall, it was just only a few days that you had to let it sit in the fridge. So you could go and eat them right around. Never heard of them. Culantro. Okay, so it must be more of a Trinidadian. It's what they use in the green seasoning. They use the culantro and the cilantro. Yeah. All right. So back to, yeah, I'm just not bothering with the bachelor's buttons. I haven't like eliminated any tomatoes or peppers for next year yet. I haven't got to that very scary, tedious part where I'm like deciding what I'm growing next year or not growing. I haven't even, not everything's ripened up for me yet. I'm not there yet. That's the thing, is so many of these other, she was like, oh yeah, the end of the gardening season. And at the time it started, I was like, I'm just starting to get tomatoes now. Like, my tomatoes are just starting. I haven't even gotten all of my we're more time. And you know what? When I moved here to Ontario from, I used to live in the States. I moved up here to Southern Ontario in Brampton, and there's a lot of Japanese. There's a lot of Jamaican neighbors, and they use thyme in everything. And I had never really growing up using thyme. We used a lot of cilantro and oregano and those spices, and I hadn't really used a lot of thyme. And so I started growing it, and I use it all the time. So I really, really love that. It just goes so well with everything. It's just got a nice flavor, but it's not too pungent. And the green onions, yeah, I love green onions in everything. Everything tastes better with green onions on it. My daughter hates it, but whatever. Don't ask her. So we're on question number 5. So question number 5 from Tinag was, name 3 vegetables that you have never grown but will grow in 2022. And this one was easy for me because all I had to do was go look at my new my gardener seed list that I just ordered, and I got the email yesterday saying it was in the mail. And so on that, I actually have 4 that I am going to be growing next year that I've never grown before. And the first one is okra. So Nicole mentioned okra. You guys mentioned okra before. So yeah, next year I will be growing some okra, mainly for the flowers. Like, I think they're absolutely beautiful. They remind me of kind of like the hollyhock or the hibiscus, being as they are in the same family as the hibiscus. They're absolutely gorgeous. And so I will be growing it. Hopefully I like it. If I don't, my neighbor who is from Trinidad, she takes hers and she slices it up, and then she lays it out in the sun and lets it dry. And then she says it's less slimy that way if you kind of like air dry it before you cook with it. And then my neighbor 2 houses down is Polish, and she loves okra, and they cook with a lot of okra as well. So I am interested in finding some recipes from both of them, or I'll just give them the okra and have them give me food back. That's probably how it's going to work out. So hopefully. Raymond Allen, I made out fine with the storm, but I got 30 minutes west, got hit by tornadoes, and oh my God, Joe, your videos, and I've been watching the news. It's absolutely insane. I saw that tornado that was rolling through there. Just, oh my gosh, crazy. I'm so glad you are all right. And I am thinking about all the gardening folks that are, down in the path of those storms. It's got to be so scary, Exchange is no robbery. Yeah. Okay, so okra is my first one. The rest, the second one was one I had never even heard of until this year, and that is the Malabar spinach. Oh, you're babysitting. Hi, Danny. Thanks for joining. Wicked Awesome Gardening. She was hoping to join me tonight, but she is apparently babysitting, so she'll just be watching. Hey, Lisa. How are you? Nice to see you there, Yogi Hollow Farm. Thank you so much for saying hello. Yeah, so I'm talking about, has anyone in here grown the Malabar spinach? Malabar? Is it Malabar spinach? I've seen it in a few videos, and it like grows on a vine. You had me a vine. I love vines. Anything that vines and grows on a vine, I am all over. So I am just super intrigued by this plant. I don't have any idea what it tastes like. I have no idea really how to grow it or what's involved. I'll be watching a lot of YouTube videos over the fall. So if anyone here has a YouTube video on any of the things I'm talking about, leave your link in the chat so we can all go over there and check it out. It's supposed to be a little like slimy like okra. So next summer will be the year of slime. You grew it once but never ate it? You had it as a house plant. Oh my goodness, that's funny. Yeah. All right. Doing well. I'm glad you're doing well, Lisa. Good to hear it. Oh goodness. All right. Well, That's not exciting. That's not exciting me, Nicole. You're supposed to be making me excited about wanting to grow this. All right, fine. So the next one up, so I mentioned 4. So those are the first 2 that are actually vegetables. The next 2 are going to be herbs, because I don't think there's a new vegetable I can think of right now, unless y'all have a vegetable I haven't grown that you swear I need to try growing. Although I am kind of sucked into the pink celery. I saw that in the Baker Creek catalog last year, and it's so pretty. And then I noticed today, I just noticed Lion Crest has just started seeding the pink celery. So I'm really excited to see how he does with his this fall, and if it's as pretty as it looks, I might have to grow some next year. I don't know. Do I need to grow celery? Why would I grow? I don't know. We'll see. So the next 2 are the culantro that I mentioned before. And it grows. It's kind of more like a spear shape looking leaf for the herb. And then borage. Borage. I've never, I don't know if I've ever even had it. I've never grown it. I had wanted to get seeds for it last year, and I couldn't get them in any of my seed swaps, so it just didn't happen. But honestly, I'm excited to try it. I watched Laura on Garden Answer make all these fancy drinks with gin, and I love gin. So now I got to grow borage to go with my gin. So those were the 4. Because she said, what three things are you growing next year? What 3 vegetables are you growing next year? I was like, 3 vegetables that I'm growing. I don't know. And so I went and I checked because I knew I had okra on there. And I was like, oh, I have 4 things coming from M.I. Gardener. So that will be my first seed order from M.I. Gardener. And I got the message yesterday that it's in the mail. And so I've already been tracking it today. Apparently it's in Michigan. Surprise, surprise. It's probably going to be stuck at the border for weeks. Who knows? So question number 6 was sum up your season. This season has been amazing. I've had some highs, I've had some lows, but just the fact that I have been like recording it and sharing it, and other people are responding and sharing, and this amazing community has just really made everything I'm doing out in the garden so much more meaningful. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like, I'm not doing this just for me. I'm growing this to, share with other people. And especially in a time when we are kind of locked down and not getting out and seeing our friends as much. And I don't have people over. I haven't been able to have any garden parties or any ladies' nights. It's just nice to be able to share the beauty of it, to share information back and forth, and to document it. Because so many times, thank you, Lisa, I'm not just rambling. So many times, we get so wrapped up in the mistakes that we make in the garden, or the things that we, just struggle with growing, and we focus so much on that. And so sometimes we'll go out in the garden, we're like, oh, look at all these weeds. Like, oh my God. Oh man, I have to go deadhead that plant. It looks hideous. I have to do this. And so we look at the garden and we just see these chores that need to be done. And the things, oh, I should have done this. Why didn't I get more mulch? Why didn't I get more of this and that? But then you have someone else come in, a neighbor, a friend comes in, and they're like, oh my goodness, and they're like, look at all these tomatoes. Look at all these flowers. Look how green everything, look how lush it is. And you're like, yeah, but look at the weeds. They're like, who cares? Well, everyone's got weeds, And so, just kind of putting it all out there, like, this is it. This is how it looks. This is what it is. I just find that it kind of brings more joy, brings more value. It helps encourage me on those days. Sometimes you're like, I don't feel like going out and watering. It's hot. I'm tired. But, you have to, because if you don't, you're not going to have anything to film the next week because your plants are all going to be dead. Let me just check okra is only slimy when you boil it with lots of water. Okay, noted. Do not boil my okra. You got it from my ex-husband. It makes a pretty houseplant. Well, if I don't like how it tastes, I'll just bring it in the house. Sounds good to me. You would like to try the celery. Yeah, it's exciting. Did someone say celery earlier? It seems like Sweet Spot said something about celery and then I might have missed it. Nope. Maybe not. Oh yeah, there it is, Renee. There we go. It says, I'm growing celery, but the rabbits ate them, so I brought more. Oh, I know the rabbits, like, they drove me nuts this year, eating all my beans over and over and over and over. We love planting, and I'm kind of new to it, but I love it. I love planting. I love planting seedlings out in the garden. That's one of my favorite things to do. I love planting, and I plant everything. And I think that's kind of always been like a bit of a, I want to say, it's like postpartum. It's like you've babied these seeds all season long. May comes, you plant them out in the garden and you water them, and then they just sit there and they do nothing for like 2-3 weeks. And then finally you start to, you get production, they start to bloom or whatever, but you have that lull for a while where it's like you've done all of this, you've been so busy taking care of them, and now there's not as much for you to do, and they're just sitting there. So, filming things and finding sparks of inspiration because you need to do a video, so you need to find something. And so it's helped me find more excitement in the garden and appreciate kind of the smaller things, right? And that's what I kind of enjoyed with this whole plant of the week, is sometimes these are plants that, when they're in bloom, they're beautiful and you're like, oh, those are gorgeous, but sometimes they're just something that kind of get lost in the landscape. And so I've kind of enjoyed just focusing on each plant and talking about them, just because they're all part of the whole, right? Like some, you make a recipe and there's like these big fancy ingredients here and there, but if you don't have some of those little guys, it doesn't taste as well, right? So it's good. Sorry. So it's the same thing with the garden. And, you have those really big, nice, fancy, statement plants, but sometimes you just need some of the filler and the little guys to set them off, So, oh, So Good Gardener, thank you so much for joining us. Hello, Rochelle. Keep sowing those seeds, fam. Yes. Drop them seeds. Yes. The lull. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right? The lull is so frustrating. It's hard to be patient, but you can't rush Mother Nature. That is so true. Hey, y'all, we're going to leave. Go ahead. Just call you a lurker. No problem. Go eat. Hope it's good. Hope it's good. Oh, hi. Letitia. Am I saying that right? Letitia? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. So, yeah, like I've tried so many new things this year, like the kohlrabi, lots of the greens. I'd never grown the kale before. Another thing I had never done before was the cool flowers. Yes, thank you. Yay, I said it right. So the cool flowers, I don't know if you are aware of this. I heard about them for the first time last summer, and everyone was swearing about this book from Lisa Mason Ziegler of the Gardening Workshop. And she is a flower farmer, and she teaches flower farming courses. And she wrote this book about a series of flowers that, depending on your zone, and it's all laid out in this book. The book is amazing. It's so well written, so easy to follow. My zone 6, there's not that many things I can do this with, but if you're in a warmer 7, 8, 9, there are so many plants, so many flowers that you can actually start now. And when they're about 6 to 8 weeks old, you plant them out in the garden, and you want them to be able to have, I think it's about 6 weeks before you get a frost or a hard frost. And what happens is they grow just enough to get the roots settled in, and then the hard frost kills the tops off. And then you can kind of cover them. There's different techniques for different plants. And then when spring comes, they already have a head start. And so you're going to be getting, there's plants like snapdragons and like the bachelor's buttons, which we're all on tonight. Calendula. There's a lot of these cooler flowers that actually love those cold temperatures. And so if you get them started in the springtime and they already have the root systems, like you can be a month ahead on your blooms over other people. And so I was excited about that. I got the book too late to start anything last year. And so what I did was I did the spring planting of these cool flowers. So I was so nervous and scared to put my baby little seedlings out in the end of March here in the Toronto area. But she said to do it. And I read other people online. They're like, it works. It works. So I started seeing some of my snapdragons from the year before. Through the snow, I could see new green coming up on those same plants. So then I knew that those plants had overwintered. So I knew that sorry, my allergies are kind of bothering me tonight. So I knew it was possible. And so I took my little tray of seedlings faithfully out to the garden. and I planted them out in the cold. So I planted out the calendula, the straw flowers, snapdragons, bachelor's buttons, clarkia, dill. I think rudbeckia you could do as well, but mine hadn't germinated. I think those were all the ones I had done. I planted them out in, I think, end of March, beginning of April, and they all did amazing. We had frosts after that. We had a week that got down to like 27 degrees. We had snow. We had a ton of cold weather. And I also had out my greens. So I had out my lettuce and my spinach and my kale. And the snow came and the frosts came and they all did really, really well. So that was like a whole new gardening method that I did this spring. That was very exciting, and I will definitely be doing it again next year. And it's kind of nice because it's like I got all those seeds started early, and then I can get all of those out of the house, from under the grow lights and all of that, and have room to start my warm season stuff at that point. Chat saying hello. I've had to learn the hard way how to care for my plants in this heat. Yeah, putting out the seedlings reminds me of the first day of school. Yeah, except for I have to put them out and then in, and then out, and then in, and then out, and then in. I call it the sunshine dance when I have to take them all in and out to harden them off. So that was the thing. It's like, well, a cloudy day, I didn't really have to harden them off too much because it was so, it was still so cool out. But it was scary that first night that I left all my babies out. Oh, for sure. I was up the next morning. I was running out there. I was terrified that they're all going to be dead and wilted. And I would be like, no. So the year previous, my first, I should have taken another allergy pill. The year previous, I had done winter sowing for the first time. So this year was my second year doing winter sowing, but the first year of actually doing it properly in like proper containers. So last year, the first year I had done it, so that was in the spring of 2020. So you can imagine everything went wrong. The only thing I could get my hands on we had a bunch of strawberry containers because for some reason strawberries were really cheap in March of 2020. I don't know why. We had a ton of these strawberry containers. So I used those for my winter sowing containers, and I used seed starting mix because I had a big bag that I bought in the fall to start seeds with. So those were kind of like, it wasn't the right container. It had too much drainage holes. It didn't hold enough soil. It worked. It did work. But I ended up kind of putting them inside a cold frame because I was scared. Hi, Bonnie, artist in the garden. Hello. Sorry you're late. No worries. No worries. Welcome. So last year I ended up getting juice containers. So if you see, I do have a video on winter sowing in my catalog if you want to go check it out. And I used a bunch of like orange juice containers because here in Canada, or here in Ontario, I get in trouble if I say here in Canada because in other parts of Canada, they actually do have milk jugs. But here in Ontario, our milk comes in bags, which is really weird. But so be it. So I had to use like, you can use like oil containers, big jugs of vinegar. Well, I don't know if I'd use vinegar for plants, but you could use a lot of those different containers. So that worked a lot better. I think because I used regular potting mix. I just used some Pro Mix that I had, drilled the holes in it. I was able to have more soil and then more room on top, which gave me more of a greenhouse-y effect. And I think I had excellent success. In the revealed video, I had like 3 or 4 containers that you just had me playing in the background. Oh, thank you. I had like 3 or 4 containers that in the video, I'm like, oh, they didn't do anything. Oh, well. So I just set them to the side and just whatever. I planted other stuff. I wasn't really trying to plant a lot of it out, but some of it I was planting out. I just stuck it to the side and they all germinated just later. Some of them were like a month later. So a few of the hollyhocks that I had said hadn't germinated, they did. So I only had 1 dud out of the whole container, and I can't remember what it was. But so I had a really good luck. But this year, the milk bat, I know it's so weird. When I came here, the first time I came here and I saw it, and I just thought, is he like buying his milk somewhere kind of weird? Like, why is his milk in like a bag? Like, and then it's like, I go to the store and I'm like, where's your like jugs of milk. I don't know. This is weird. But, oh, hey, Pam. Hey, Chef Pam, Container Crops. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So this year, I'm super excited for my winter sowing containers because my daughter's friend down the street, they get the big water jugs that they put in like that thingy in the house, like the big water cooler. And they just throw them in the recycling. So every couple of days, my daughter, she goes out and they're playing or whatever, and she comes home with this big jug for me. So I think I have like 6 of them so far. They're huge. Like, I am so excited. It's going to be so much easier to grow some stuff in. I might put like some dividers in it as well, so I can grow like maybe, I don't know how many in each container. But I think that the bigger the container on there is, the more greenhousey of effect. It's going to get warmer and it's just going to be better. So we'll see. And I think Bonnie, Artist in the Garden, she used some of those big containers. I saw her video on winter sowing, and she had used a few of those, and I was like, ooh. Oh, and actually I picked one up on the curb. We were doing a job, and their neighbor had one out on the curb for recycling, and I was like, and I just snagged it and stuck it in. So those are some of the new things I've been doing, and there's another really big one, really, really big. New things. Yeah, see, Bonnie said they worked really well. Yeah. And the other really big new thing was the soil blocks. So like I said, I was watching Lisa Mason Ziegler from Gardener's Workshop with the book Cool Flowers, and she grows everything in seed blocks. Almost everything. Soil blocks, sorry. So she has like the mini ones and then the 2-inch ones. So they're like a 3/4 inch square, the small ones. And it comes in it's like a stamp, and it's about this big. And you get 20 plant cells, boom, in this big of a space. And then I'm mind blown. So that is what she plants all of her annuals in. So like her zinnias and nasturtiums. No, not nasturtiums. Those seeds are too big. So like zinnias. I did have trouble getting my calendula in there. I did, but they're kind of big. So next year I'll be using the 2-inch ones. But honestly, the space savings on these are absolutely insane. Like, I could not get over the difference between like a 72 or 48 cell, where I could grow 48 seedlings before. I could grow 300 on a tray, the same size. 300 seedlings on a tray the same size. So I'm in a townhouse, and all of my seed sowing gets done in a window. Most of it's in my bedroom window. I have a 5-story shelf that goes up there. It's got a few grow lights. I use the big window. And so for me, it's all about space. And so I had gotten all of these seeds in a seed swap. And I was like, how on earth am I going to get the room to start these? So it's kind of one of the reasons why I kind of planned on the winter sowing. I was like, I really need to do some winter sowing because I do not have room for this many. But then when I finally got my hands on these soil blocks, I was like, oh my goodness. So almost all the plants, the flowers that you see in my backyard, I started from seed indoors in these little soil blocks. And it was just absolutely amazing to me. I love that you have no containers. I don't have to clean out containers. I don't have to store containers. I don't have to clean out all those little plasticky containers and then try to shove them in something and put them in a bag and put them in the attic to store it. I don't have to do any of that. All I have to store are these 2 little stamp thingies, and that's it. And then I'll have to show you the video. This was the coolest thing when I discovered this, because I saw it on her video and I was like, it can't possibly go that smoothly. So the 2-inch, so on the 2-inch squares, you can either do a little dimple at the top to stick your seed in, or you can do the little square. And the little square that goes in the top is the exact same size as the mini block. So I don't know why I can't find my channel. I'll just go to all uploads. So what you can do here when you're potting up. Okay, so we're going to see if we can't share the screen again. All right, so I'm going to share the screen. Oh, it's taking a minute to load. And we're going to skip ads because I'm not getting paid for those ads. So,
welcome back to my channel. I'm Rochelle.
Oh.
And today we're going to be learning how to
Okay, so this one you can see the soil blocks. I'm going to just skip forward.
Ready to go potting mix. I used one that had some moisture retention, so it had some extra peat in it, and it worked great.
So I used the Miracle Grow, and I also tried it with the Pro Mix.
Right, is what's really important.
And the Pro Mix was my favorite.
If it's too dry,
I just used straight up Pro Mix and water. I didn't use the fancy soil blocking mixtures that you're supposed to, but whatever. If you want to make it more complicated, then you can, but I found it was just fine with that. So honestly, you can see here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is the exciting part.
In the top.
So here,
are the
look at
exact same size as the small soil blocks. So after your small soil blocks have outgrown their size, you literally just pop them right in. It was amazing. My husband's watching me as he's filming, and he's like, wow, that looks so satisfying. And I was like, this is quite literally the greatest thing ever. Like, they just fit so perfectly into those little squares. There's like minimal transplant shock, and they have done incredibly well ever since then. I'll show you some update videos. So happy with my soil blocks this year.
Oh, and here they are a week later. They're super happy. I ordered mine from Lee Valley. They had the best price. Lee Valley had the best price on them, and the free shipping. So I ended up, but they were back ordered last year because the true original are made from a family company in the UK, and they were just flooded with orders. And so I ordered them, I think in September, and I didn't even get, like, I couldn't even get through to actually place the order until December at some point. How many seeds do I put in each block? It depends on the seeds. So if it's a seed, a lot of my seeds, if it's tomatoes or peppers, I'm only putting one seed in each seed block. And that's because I always, well, not so much the tomatoes, but the peppers, I always pre-sprout in paper towels. So I do the baggie method for that. Or if it's like a special seed that I really, really want to get really good germination rate with it, then I pre-sprout it, and so then I only put one in at a time because I know it's going in. And actually, I don't really think I overseeded more than one or two, even the tomatoes going in, just because I could see them in there, and I was like, well, if one of them doesn't sprout, it's easy to just, you can put a new sprout in, and it'll just be, a week or so behind, or you can literally just kind of reach in and take that square out and put a new one in, and it's not a big deal. They don't fall apart. They don't. I'll have to see if I have video of it. I thought so too, especially because I didn't do the fancy mix where other people do, like 1 part potting soil and 1 part compost and 1 part green sand, whatever the heck that is. They have some really fancy recipes out there that just make it super complicated and honestly intimidating. And so that was one thing I was kind of hesitating with. And then I watched Serena and Ian over on You Can't Eat the Grass, and they use the soil blocker a lot. And she's like, yeah, we just use potting mix and water. Like, I think it's more about the consistency to get it to where if it's too wet, it'll just go as you try to form it. And if it's too dry, it doesn't really come out. But like here are all my tomatoes. So I grew, at the end of the season, I had 84 actual seedlings that I either sold or planted out. And
today's video, tomatoes.
So you'll see right here, well, like as I'm planting these, what she recommends you use is just a meat tray. So this is just like a Costco sausage tray. And you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares of 20. Yeah, green sand, right? Yeah. So it's like I have 140. This is 140 seeds right here. Boom. on one tray. So when you're limited on space, and then you saw how easy, like the ones that you need to pot up, like tomatoes, peppers, anything like that you want to pot up into the 2-inch soil blocks, you just stick them right in. There's no shock. There's no trying to squeeze them out of those containers or pushing them up through the bottom or anything like that. You literally just take it and stick it in. The only thing is, normally with my tomatoes, I like to pot them deeper. But if you're potting it up small, so what I'm thinking of doing next year is, once I pot it up into the 2-inch block, I'm going to let it grow. And then once it gets taller, because I did repot mine up into the paper pots, which worked really good, but it took up a lot more room. So what I'm going to do this year is, once they get kind of tall in those squares, I'm going to prune up the sides, and I'm going to do more of the soil blocks, and then I'm going to cut them in half. And then I'm just going to take 2 halves of the soil blocks and just stick it on top of the other soil block on top of the stem and squish the stem inside. Does that make sense? Sorry, these are really, really bad gestures. I apologize for that. But does that make sense? So instead of like making it wider or whatever, I'm going to just actually make it bigger. They actually also make a 4-inch soil blocker, and that comes with a 2-inch hole in the middle if you want to pot up again. But that thing is quite expensive, and you use it once at a time. And one of the farmers, I was watching his videos where he pots them up, he doesn't bother potting them up again into something bigger. He just takes that square, puts it on like a tray, and then just kind of grabs a big handful of soil and kind of just mounds it around. So it's not super neat or whatever, but for the ones that need more soil, that's what he did. So honestly, yeah, the price of the 4-inch soil blocks was just, no, way too much. So, we need to give away, we got some seeds to give away. We got some seeds to give away for the hollyhock seeds. Yes, we do. So let me just pop on over, and I'm going to run that. So hopefully you all commented on the video, because that's the only way you can get entered in. So you have to comment on the hollyhock video. So I'm using this website right here, random YouTube picker. And here you can watch me struggle in real time. All right, so there we go. Include replies to comment. No, filter comments. Nope. All right. We're getting the comments. So we have 24 comments on that video. And
online work and project calendars. Unlike traditional calendars,
who's talking?
Write calendars are directly connected to projects and tasks. They always reflect your most up-to-date plans.
I have no idea what where sound is coming from right now.
And share work.
All right, well, click start, and then hopefully she'll be done. I don't know what that's on. RB the Garden Nanny. She's not in the chat tonight, but congratulations. She's our grand hollyhock winner of the night.
Welcome back to the channel. I'm Rochelle, the Branson Gardener. And
why the heck is this playing now? All right. Oh, my last plant. Oh, that's a lovely pause. Oh, that's great. Oh, gosh. Yes, I will be telling RB congratulations on that one. Yay. So that was my hollyhock giveaway. My next live, which is, I've been doing them every two weeks. I don't know if I might change that more frequently, but on my next live, whether it's next Thursday or on this next 16th Thursday, then I will be doing, I think, a couple more seeds giveaways. I'm kind of waiting till I have them in stock, and they'll be ready to go out now. So I will have my other plants of the week going. So that's what it was. It was an ad on that video that was playing on a different screen. Well, now we know. There wasn't just some random lady chatting away in my office. Yeah, so the one after that, I can't even remember the weeks. Rose mallow. So, yep, I have plenty of seeds off my rose mallow. So that will be week number 3. And nasturtiums are week number 4. I don't have as many of those, so I'll make sure to go out and get those. So next week I'll probably be doing, next live, I will be doing the giveaways for the rose mallow and the nasturtiums. Hardy hibiscus, we are a long ways off getting any seeds off of those babies, but I can still read out the names at some point. But tomorrow morning, going live, Rose Mallow. I love them. Actually, oh, I popped up. Where's my screen thingy? Did I close it? Where I can change my my background. Oh, here it is. So I popped up some of the Rose Mallows. That picture. Oh, and I'm blocking it. Woo! They are so pretty. Unfortunately, right after I took this picture out in the front yard, it was looking stunning like this. Something trampled it. I don't know what happened to it. It looks horrible now. It looks like death. I had to like prune it way back. Something, I don't know if some animal got in there and stepped on it or whatever. It wasn't Gizmo because there's no, there are no tomatoes there. So these are also my hollyhocks. And, oh, I got really blurry there. So they're very, very pretty. So congratulations on those, the winner for that. Yeah, those are really pretty. Love the rose mallow. The rabbits ate all. I find that the rabbits like to chew down the rose mallow, but at some point mine do and have like come back. Yeah, but it's like, it's frustrating. So yeah. Thank you, The Sweet Spot. I know a lot of, I watch so many of the gardening communities channels, and the focus of so many gardens is all on vegetables. And I really got into I really got into flowers. I mean, that's really where my heart is, and was when I started my garden years and years ago. It was all about the petunias and the hibiscus and the canna lilies. And honestly, I was only growing, like maybe 3 or 4 tomatoes and some herbs. That was it. That was all I was doing for veggie. So I'm kind of going more into the veggie zone as I'm getting more room in the garden and my pots and containers. It's more, it's working out a little bit more, and I'm learning so much more about it. And then I'm watching other people and I'm getting jealous that they're all growing vegetables as well. So, but I'm also trying to spread a little bit of the flower magic back into the gardening community, because so many people are so focused on the vegetables, but they don't have very many flowers. And honestly, like for me, the flowers, like every time I go out into my garden, I see it. My husband's convinced it's not the same bee, but there's this bumblebee that is like at the the begonias at the front door. Every time I go out there, every time I'm in the yard, I see a handful of bumblebees. I have a quick little video. Oh, I wonder if I can show it on here. No, I don't know how to access just the video. That's not online. Of one, and he's just buzzing around. He's in the zinnias, and he's so loaded with pollen. Like he's just so loaded with pollen. And so I find I have a lot of veggies growing, and I do know that they love the loofah flowers, but honestly, they're not on my vegetables very often. They're all on my flowers. So yeah, flowers bring your garden alive. I thought I had made a choice in the beginning, but lucky for me, you can't eat or drink lots of them. Yes, you do not have to make a choice. Grow all the things. Honestly, grow everything. Grow everything. The flowers bring the pollinators. They bring the good, beneficial insects. They bring a smile. They bring beauty. They bring smell. They bring so much to the garden. The bumblebees love my cucumbers. Yeah, I find like the yellow... like my loofahs last year and my cucamelons, they really did like those too. I am more excited about flowers over veg, but my potager is where I have the most opportunity for YouTube content right now. But just throw it in there. Like, I love watching your videos and seeing the zinnias right in next to, your okra and your beans. I just think, and I love cutting them and bringing them in. That's one thing. I've lost a bit of my cut flower mojo. Like, I've made some bouquets this year, and I'm just not, I don't know. I was liking them better last year, and this year I grew more cut flowers, and I'm really struggling working them into arrangements, like the bachelor's buttons and the calendula. The calendula is floppy. Like, it's pretty, but it's like, it's kind of floppy. The gaillardia is kind of floppy. The colors don't all go together. I don't know. For me, it's all about the snapdragons, and I got busy working and I wasn't out deadheading, and so I haven't had a ton of like nice snapdragons to go out and cut. So hopefully in another, a week or so, my zinnias are really going crazy right now, so I'll get some nice bouquets, and hopefully some of my filler starts filling. I thought I'd grown a lot of filler. Like I'd planned on a lot of filler in my seed planning, and I had started it and I was growing it, and for some reason I have no filler to go pick. I don't know what's going on. So those are the things that are kind of, frustrating me right now. Some veggies make wonderful ornamental. Okra and eggplant are gorgeous. They are. And I think, some flowers are edible and some vegetables are beautiful. I actually have some peppers out in my fingers are really long. I have some peppers out in my front garden. So do you have any hydrangeas ready to cut? I don't have hydrangeas. I used to have a endless summer hydrangea, and it died. And I don't know if I have room for a hydrangea. So, because they're so big, even the dwarf ones, like I have trouble keeping my dwarf lilac small. If we do go to cutting out that dead crabapple tree that I'm using as a trellis right now for my beans, if I do pull them out, then I'm hoping to get a limelight. I would love to get a limelight standard planted there, but they're kind of expensive and I'm cheap. So I don't know if that's going to happen. Yeah, I have no hydrangeas. I know it's kind of embarrassing. I'm sorry. Am I even a gardener? I know. I really tried with the endless summer hydrangea, but it only, they say it's good to zone 5 and 6, but it dies back every year. And so it never grows. It dies back like a perennial as opposed to a shrub. And so it has to restart every year. And so it never got any bigger. And then I think it ended up, I don't know, I just didn't like where it was at. The first year it was blue. It was beautiful. The second year it was pink. And then after that, it just, no. I have 2 suppliers of plants now. I'm addicted. Help me. Oh, goodness. So I'm just going to pop the link down here. If anyone wants to join me on the chat tonight, they can. If you want to answer any of the questions that T-Nog had on her questionnaire, I can kind of post that list in the group too. Question number 1, I think, is a given. Question number 2, she asked, was what vegetable will you not grow? Vegetable 3 was, what vegetable did you grow? Okay, you guys can all read. I'll just post it. Question 4. I'll put that there. So if you want to come up on the chat, you can just click on the link. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, that's fine. And you can just answer down in the comment section. And the last one is sum up your season. So there we go. So gas, no hydrangeas. Get over it, Nicole. Deal with it, all right? I know, especially in Ontario, everyone, I know. I killed mine and then I just don't have room. Maybe I'll have my neighbor buy one and then she can put it in her backyard and then I will just take care of it and cut it from it. Yeah, I can stay around, Danny. So, did anyone else try anything new this year? I feel like I tried so many new things this year, not just in planting, but the methods, right? Oh, then I got the grow bags. So last year I had grown stuff in the grocery bags, the dollar store grocery bags, and it worked really well. It wasn't as attractive as it could have been. I'll just show the picture. I won't play it, but so here's my screenshot. Nope. Can I get a full screen? Oh gosh, no, that's not any better. Nope. So once that loads, yeah, so I got these, the bags at Dollarama. They were 3 for $1 for the fabric shopping bags, and they worked great. My tomatoes absolutely love them. They're just like bright green. So, you know, as Pam likes to say, if you can put a pot, you can grow a plant. And I like to say, if you can grab a bag, you can have a pot. Oh, thank you so much for coming in, Renee. It was good to see you. Happy planting. So here's just a quick, oh yeah, this was last year. So here they are.
For $1.
So they were 3 for $1. So this is just a picture at the end of the season. I'm pulling them out of the bags, but I mean, check out the roots on these things. Like they were actually
the ones I pulled out of they give me much resistance. So this is
sorry, it took a while.
Much
this
more
is before I learned to fast forward through videos
instead of all just the really long, thick ones that are wrapping around.
So it's the air pruning. So I did that last year. Instead of like, you know how you get like a lot of times you pull your tomatoes out and they're just like a few really thick cords and they're all twisted. The idea of the air pruning is that it gives you more but finer roots, so that they can actually use up the nutrients in the soil better because air flows around them and all of that. So that was my theory last year. I tried it and it worked really, really well. And then I think it bothered my dad's sensibilities, and so he bought me the grow bags for my birthday. He was like, here. So he bought me some of the 12 grow bags. And Pam's going to be doing grow bags this year. I mean, this coming season. Or actually, you're using them now, right? For your fall garden. She got some grow bags sent to her last week. So that was exciting.
I like that they don't take
Hey, Nikki. Thanks for joining. Hello. Oh, and Mystic Sensation. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Nikki. I'm just showing off my super fancy garden grocery bags that I used last year. So then, yeah, this year I switched to the grow bags and the buckets, the super fancy buckets. Oh, my goodness. I have to say, growing through this pandemic has really, if you see the buckets here, has really shown us a lot. Hey, Sid? Is that you? Oh, it's you. I was going to ask if you could grab me the little tomato seedlings downstairs in the window. The tomato seedlings down in the window in the little shot glass. So, yeah, this was my, oh, God, I pause it on the worst ones ever. Every time. So I've been wanting to do something along the fence here. I've been wanting to make it like a raised bed or like the trugs or kind of something nice and big or fancier. But stores were shut down. Any kind of wood or lumber, like we would have had to order it and go pick it up at like Home Depot or anything like that. You couldn't go into the store and shop. You couldn't like go find like, you know, the discount wood section or anything like that. And so I was kind of stuck. I didn't really want to plant any food in the soil there because that is old pressure treated wood that has arsenic or whatever was in it. And so I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I want to grow something, but I don't know what I'm going to be able to grow. And so voila, came these buckets. And, oh, let me get that out of there. They've actually worked out really, really well. And they were free because I have...
beds in the last few years.
I don't know why I keep hitting that, sorry. They worked out really well, and they're free because we do drywall taping for work. And so we always have leftover buckets of mud all the time. So remember earlier I was talking about those really sad, pathetic little seedlings that came in the mail that I thought were dead for sure? Look at these. They're growing. And I don't know if you can see it on here. I'll try to get this one out. Like, I'll show you the roots. Like, the roots are insane on these now. Like, I know it was kind of fading in and out of the shot. Sorry. So the roots are crazy. And then this one here. Like, I've never in my life seen tomatoes. Like, I'm touching it with my hand. Like, my hand is behind it. These are the tiniest. I can't remember. I have to double check my notes if these are the spoon tomatoes or not. But I didn't have the heart to take them off, and I know I should have when I'm trying to root it and like get this plant alive. But honestly, this one and this one is still the farthest behind. It was literally just a stick. Like, it came in the mail and it was a stick, but it's rooting from the bottom. should call it Baby Groot. It's rooting from the bottom. Oh, I'm really buzzy, sorry. And then it's got a little bit of rooting going on at the top. So I'm just like, I messaged him about a week ago and I took pictures and he's like, oh my God, thank goodness. But like this one, like honestly, I thought they were all goners. But so apparently mailing, and he had like a Ziploc bag and he had the roots wrapped in like a wet paper towel, stuck it in the Ziploc bag, stuck it in an envelope, mailed it. And we had like the hottest weather for like a week or so. It was like in the 90s to 100s. And somehow they managed to show up and I thought they were dead. I should have taken a picture when they came, but I was just like, oh. But they're doing really, really well. So I'm going to be potting them up and probably just keeping them inside for now. Although the spoon tomatoes are an indeterminate, so I'm a little scared of growing them in the house because I've heard that they can be like monsters. So I might just grow it in the house and just keep pruning it. But I believe the other one is, I really should check back with his message. I believe it may be Orange Hat. Orange Hat, like it's not a cherry tomato, but a dwarf. I think it's a dwarf tomato, Orange Hat. Oh my God, I can't remember off the top of my head which one he said it was. So those are those varieties. So I'm going to be growing them. I might just set up like a little grow light on them once. I mean, they're getting enough sun just in the window right now. They're doing just fine because we have a lot of sun right now. But at some point they're going to need more than that. So we shall see. Yeah. So I was just like shocked that he sent those. I was like, all right. So all it cost was a stamp and it came in the mail. Yeah. So has anyone else ever like, because I know people order plants online. I've never ordered a plant online. Like I know people order them and they come in the mail or whatever, but like exciting. So has anyone grown the spoon tomatoes? I'm assuming Joe. Joe, what haven't you grown? Joe has grown everything when it comes. It's a micro dwarf. The spoon? Oh, is the spoon a micro dwarf or the because he says his spoon ones are growing out of control. They're the biggest, smallest tomato plants he's ever grown. And then the other one for sure, I'm trying to find. And I feel bad because he's also the one that sent me the giant Mongolian sunflowers. And I had to tell them that, like, I had it was probably 10 feet tall, and someone went and stole the head off of it before it got a chance to bloom on both of them. So I didn't get a chance to see either one of them bloom. And I'm very sad. And I was like, I don't want to tell him. But his Russian giants are like 12 feet high right now. So I'm like, all right. But yeah, he was telling me, like, I think the Orange Hat was his favorite of all the dwarf. He's growing a ton of dwarf tomatoes as well. So I'm really, really intrigued by the dwarf tomatoes. I think I will be branching out into a few more varieties next year for sure. I just love the aspect of being able to grow them in January when I'm just itching to get stuff in the dirt. And that way I don't grow stuff that it's too early to grow and then I regret it. Like the petunias. I started my petunias end of January. Same time I started my pansies. And I actually am going to start my pansies sooner next year. I'll be doing them like maybe like right after Christmas or right around New Year's. I'll be starting my pansies because they could have been bigger when I planted them out. Because pansies are cool flowers, so they can go out in March. So they need to, and they're slow. They're really slow growing. So they need that good 3 months before you plant them out. Petunias, however, cannot go out until like middle to end of May. So I was planting these petunias as I was planting them. Some of them were like 12, 18 inches long. Like they were crazy. I should have probably gone in and pruned again. But I was so close to seeing blooms on it that I just couldn't bring myself to do that. Because I did not want to cut off those blooms because I waited so long for them and I never dreamed that I could actually grow petunias from seed. They were from seeds that I gotten in a seed swap, and ones that I had saved from my own seeds as well. And so I was just shocked, right? I was actually shocked when I went out and I could actually see the petunias were actually doing something and growing. And when I stuck my head into the greenhouse, I'm just going to pop this up on the screen. No, enough with the ads. The ads are bad enough when people are, getting monetized for them, and I will sit through them then, but not just for YouTube. Yeah, I think you should try the dwarf tomatoes, Nicole, because you don't even need to have them in pots like up on the patio where it'd be easier to maintain them. But you could just do them in the garden and just even put the cage, use a tomato cage, and then put those bag nettings that Pam uses. Pam has these they almost look like a laundry bag from the dollar store. So yeah, these were how they started. So these were the petunias. Then I potted them up into these containers. And I was like, oh yeah, they're going along. Look how cute they are. And then I potted them up into the 2-inch squares. And honestly, this is about the size they could have been for, maybe a little bit larger for planting out. But this is in March. And then April, I would come out and I could see the flower buds on them. And this is out in the greenhouse. And I would go out there and I kept checking over and over and over. And it just seemed like it took forever. It's almost like when you're waiting for your tomatoes to ripen. It took forever. So this was my video called Petunias from Seed to Bloom, as you can see. So it's just kind of showing the growth of them. But there they are in the soil blocks. And look, I'm manhandling the soil blocks. They stay together just fine. If it was super wet, you just watered them, then I wouldn't be handling them. But what happens is once they get growing, the roots grow into them, because Danny was asking about handling them. The roots grow into them and they stay together just fine. I was shocked. Even when they're wet, even when they're new and there's nothing in it, you can still kind of move them around. But especially once you get the plants in there. So these are the ones I was pulling out to kind of get them bigger so that I could put them in my front container. So I was potting them up. And then here we have April 16th was my first bloom. And then I'm starting to get a few more blooms. And then finally at the end, I was coming out and just seeing these blooms. And so it was absolutely beautiful. So how it is here, what was this, April 16th, I said, or something? That's how it needs to be in May 16th. So I think this size here is perfect for planting out in the garden. But they were a month older than this when I actually ended up planting them out. So that was definitely another learning experience that I am going to have for next year, as I'm not going to be starting my petunias quite as early, but I will be starting my pansies sooner. Oh, I will put them on my piping hot front porch and take advantage of the scorching sun. That's actually the best place to put your peppers, because I'm telling you, my peppers, they have done the best by the brick on my house heating up. But of course, I'm not getting the same amount of heat that you're getting down in Texas. I get that, but we were pretty hot. The sweet spot has been collecting zinnia seeds. I want to give them away. Oh, I forgot to keep clicking them up. How can I make sure they're good? Should I wait until spring? No. Just follow the videos. I think the She's a Mad Gardener has one. I will be doing zinnia seeds at some point, but mine have not started to go to seed yet. So you want to just make sure you pull them all off and put them in an envelope. And if you're doing a seed swap, just say, hey, this is my first time doing them. I hope they're okay, and people will understand. I think they're probably going to be absolutely fine as long as you let them dry on the plant. I don't think there should be any problem with that. You could, if you're really concerned about it, yeah, you could just even now just stick it in a little wet paper towel in a baggie and see if it germinates. And if it does, then you're good to go on the rest of them. You could do a little germination test if you wanted to. I'm going to go. Today is the last fireworks night at the beach. Needed a break from work. Bye, Joe. Have fun at the fireworks. Is that going to be our entry video, the fireworks video? Have fun. It'll be beautiful. Hopefully you can get there and you don't get swamped out on the roads. Yikes. Nicole, I still can't grow a petunia from seed. Petunias need sun, so they need light to germinate. So make sure you don't cover them. And for those, like for petunias, super tiny seeds, petunias, pansies, lisianthus, those kinds of seeds, I'm going to be doing like I believe it's called the Charles Dowding method, just like you saw there, like with the pie plate. And then you just sprinkle it on and let them grow. Because that is the one thing. And I think I was packing some of my soil blocks a little too hard at first, and they were really, really firm. And so I think some of the smaller seeds had a harder time doing their thing. So I will not be packing the mini seed blocks as heavy next year. But for those super tiny seeds, I think I will be using that method. And then I'll just pot them up once they sprout and get a little growth on them. Then I will just kind of nick them out and pop them up into a soil block at that point. Even the little soil blocks at that point, just so you know that they're kind of getting their roots going and doing their thing. So we'll see you later, Joe. So try that again, Nicole. Try just kind of putting a little bit of soil seed starting mix in a plate that's got nice drainage on it, like a little pie tin, and just sprinkle the seeds on top and don't cover them, and leave them out in the light because they need light to germinate. Gardner, Steve Gardner, have fun. Bye, Joe. So hopefully Danny's popping by soon. She said she was going to come in. She is babysitting tonight. She has been very, very busy. She's got some shows going on. She's got her channel going on. She's got her garden. Some of these people, I watch, I don't know if you guys watch Nicole on Flower Hill Farm. I swear to God, she has to have more hours in a day than the rest of us. Like, I don't know how she gets so much stuff done in her day and her week. Like, she has a couple full-time jobs, plus she does the flower farming. Now she's doing the farmer's market. And then last week she was doing like mini photo sessions because she also does photography. How do you do this, lady? How do you keep this going? Like, I don't know. Oh no, the 4-year-old is still up. Oh no. Well, maybe better luck next time, Danny. I've got to go de-stuff my nose. I want to say thank you so much to everyone that came out tonight and joined me. I really appreciated it. It was really nice to see everybody. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you hadn't hit it yet on the chat. That would be great. I don't even know. Oh, 11 people are in here. Thank you so much for coming, for joining in the conversation, for sharing your information, for sharing your garden, and for sharing your time. I really, really do appreciate it. And I hope everyone's fall garden gets going and starts sprouting and we all have a great season. And I do look forward, my upcoming lives, I will be giving away some more seeds every week from my my plant of the week. But I'm also going to start talking a little bit more about, kind of planning your seed starting list, planning your seeds for next year, how to cull what seeds you're not going to do anymore. Oh, thank you very much, Viola. Thank you. I appreciate that. And also, I'm going to be talking a little bit about garden journals. How do you keep track of everything? I have some interesting spreadsheets that I have shared before, but I will be getting more of those spreadsheets up and running and filling them out. And I might even show a bit of my journal that I've been doing, some bullet journaling. Although in August I did absolutely nothing. I think I wrote like one thing on the whole calendar, the whole month. My problem was I hadn't started the month. I hadn't got my calendar done like I normally do. And so every time I went to write in it, I didn't have it all set up. And I never had the time to set it up. So I never wrote in it. So I took the kids to the playground yesterday. I packed up my supplies. I sat in my chair. I don't know if you saw the picture on Instagram. I'm sitting in my sun hat. And I was like actually doing my journal. I had my washi tape out. I was doing my journal pages, getting it set up. Because if I didn't do that once September starts and I go to pick it up to kind of jot something in, if I don't have anywhere to do it, it's just not going to happen. And I really miss taking that time to just sit. It's a good, sometimes you need an excuse to just sit and rest. Sometimes you're just like, you sit there, you get your coffee, you get your pencil, and you just kind of jot down ideas, things. I have like a brain dump or a mind map sheet for like ideas for YouTube. I also have, for the plants. And I did do really well on taking care of my notes last year. Like I have wrote down every day I started seeds. I wrote down which seed, I know which day it was, which week I had started them so that this year I can say, oh, you know what? Those should have been bigger. Like my Gomfrina. My poor Gomfrina. They're flowering, but they're literally like this tall. And they each have like 2 or 3 little tiny, tiny flowers on them, right? So I'm saying, okay, whenever I started my Gomfrina last year, I'm going to start it like 2 months sooner. Like it was crazy tiny. But like the petunias, I'm going to start it after. So I did really well with, oh, hi, Scott. Thanks. You're in trouble now. Now you're in trouble. You got to sit in the corner because you're late. Yep. Sorry about that. You're in a timeout. Yeah, so I did a really good job of keeping track of when I started the seeds. So I have a feeling that that is going to be kind of some of my downtime, fall and wintry stuff is going to be reorganizing those seeds, going through my notes and seeing what I can do better. So I will be sharing kind of some of those tips in some of my upcoming lives. If that's something that interests you, or if you're doing anything like that yourself, I would love to hear from you. And if you want to come up and share a bit of your journal, or if you have any calendars that you write on, or if you have any spreadsheets, we would all love to share them. Hello, Scott. I'm all with all my friends. Yes, it's good to see you, Scott. We were talking a bit today about getting our fall gardens started. Did you start yours yet? You got your seeds dropped? I saw you were over chatting with people today, but you weren't. I wasn't there for any garden talk. I don't know if you even do any garden talk anymore, Scott. No. Oh, no, I just see Joe has his Sunday Fun Day registration is up already, and it is not the fireworks. It is not the fireworks. No. Scott is with all his friends. Well, I hate to tell you, Scott, but we were just wrapping up. You just came in at the end. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, though. And maybe I will see you on your live tomorrow. Maybe, maybe not. I am working tomorrow, so I don't know when I will be home. But if you're all got nothing to do on a Friday afternoon, head on over to Rambling with the Brums, because he goes on and does a lot of, he does a nice long live chat over there if you're interested in hanging out with him. So I won't keep you anymore. Go and enjoy the rest of your evenings. And thank you very much. I am honored and so happy to see everybody here. And good luck in your gardens. Good luck in the fall plantings. And my garden is absolutely, oh no. Oh, from the water? Oh no. Monica, hello. She just came in. Yeah, maybe I started the chat too soon. Maybe next week, maybe next time I'll start at 8. It's just, it gets so dark at 8 now that I was afraid I was going to lose my light, but it's not too bad. I mean, I'm a little darker than it was, but it's not too bad. Maybe I'll go at 8 next time, or 7:30. Just, it's late for me here, and then I get up early for work tomorrow, so I'm a little fresher if it's not so early. So anyways, Nicole, oh, how much wine did you have, Nicole? Not enough? Not enough wine for tonight? You'll have to plan for next time, eh? I'm still trying to struggle getting Nicole to come up and do a live with me, because she hasn't done a live yet. So we need to help her break through her fears of that. So anyways, again, good night. Bye.